Welcome to an experiment of terror, a tale of friendship and the supernatural. Chapter 1, The Abandoned House. It was a dark and stormy night as four friends, Emma, Ryan, Sarah, and David, decided to explore the abandoned house on the outskirts of town. The house had been abandoned for years, and rumors had spread about strange noises and sightings around the property. As they approached the house, the creaking of the front gate echoed through the night, sending chills down their spines. The front door was locked, so they had to enter through a broken window. Inside, the house was eerie and silent, except for the sound of the rain hitting the roof. As they explored the first floor, they noticed strange markings on the walls and furniture, as if someone had been living there. Suddenly, they heard a loud crash coming from upstairs, followed by footsteps. They froze, unsure of what to do next. Emma whispered, "Let's go check it out." The others agreed, and they slowly made their way up the creaky stairs. When they reached the top, they saw a shadowy figure standing in the hallway. They couldn't make out who or what it was, but they knew they had to get out of there fast. As they turned to leave, they heard the figure whisper, "You shouldn't have come here." Suddenly, the door at the end of the hallway slammed shut, trapping them inside with the mysterious figure. To be continued. Chapter 2, The Hidden Room. The friends were trapped inside the hallway, with no way out. The figure continued to approach them slowly, and they could hear its heavy breathing. Panic set in, and they began to search for a way to escape. Suddenly, Ryan noticed a small door hidden behind a bookshelf. It was almost invisible, but he managed to push it open. The friends quickly crawled through the narrow passage, not knowing where it would lead. They found themselves in a small room, with no windows and only one door. The room was pitch black, and they couldn't see anything. They fumbled around for a light switch, but couldn't find one. As they stood in the darkness, they heard strange noises coming from the walls. It sounded like something was scratching at the plaster, trying to get in. Emma suggested that they try to find a way out of the room, before it was too late. David stumbled upon a loose brick in the wall, which he removed, to reveal a small hole. They peered through the hole and saw a room on the other side, illuminated by a single light. As they tried to find a way to enter the other room, they heard footsteps coming closer. They knew they had to act fast, and Sarah suggested they crawl through the hole one by one. They managed to squeeze through the hole and found themselves in the other room. It was a large laboratory, filled with strange equipment and a large operating table in the center. Suddenly, the door to the laboratory burst open, and they saw the mysterious figure standing in the doorway. They ran for cover, but it was too late. The figure had caught up with them. Chapter 3, The Experiment. The figure grabbed hold of Ryan, dragging him towards the operating table. The friends tried to fight back, but they were no match for the figure's strength. As Ryan was strapped to the table, the figure began to mutter strange incantations, and the equipment in the room came to life. Tubes filled with strange liquids began to bubble, and sparks flew from the machines. The figure then revealed its face, and the friends were shocked to see that it was a woman, with a twisted expression and dark eyes. She explained that she had been conducting experiments on the supernatural, and that Ryan was her latest subject. She began to perform the experiment, and Ryan's body contorted in pain. The friends could only watch in horror as their friend was subjected to the woman's twisted desires. Just as they thought it couldn't get any worse, they heard a loud crash from outside the laboratory. The woman was distracted for a moment, and the friends took the opportunity to free Ryan from the operating table. They managed to escape the laboratory, but they knew that they couldn't leave the woman to continue her experiments. They had to find a way to stop her once and for all. As they searched the house, they found a hidden room filled with ancient texts and magical artifacts. They knew that this was their chance to put an end to the woman's reign of terror. Chapter 4: The Ritual. The friends studied the ancient texts and artifacts, searching for a way to defeat the woman and her dark powers. They found a ritual that would banish her from the mortal realm, but it required a sacrifice. They were hesitant to make such a sacrifice, but they knew it was the only way to stop the woman from continuing her experiments. They drew lots to decide who would perform the sacrifice, and David was chosen. The friends prepared for the ritual, gathering the necessary materials and preparing the sacrifice. They lit candles and formed a circle around David, who held the sacrifice in his hands. As they began the ritual, the woman appeared, wielding dark magic and trying to stop them. The friends stood their ground, determined to complete the ritual and banish the woman from their town. The ritual intensified, and the room filled with a blinding light. The woman screamed as she was consumed by the ritual's power, disappearing from the room in a flash of light. The friends collapsed to the ground, exhausted from the ritual's intensity. They had succeeded in banishing the woman from their town, but they knew that they had been forever changed by the experience. As they left the abandoned house, they knew that they would never forget the horrors they had witnessed, and they vowed to never explore the unknown again. Chapter 5: The Aftermath. The friends returned to their normal lives, but they couldn't shake the memories of their terrifying experience. They struggled to sleep at night, plagued by nightmares of the woman and her experiments. One night, Sarah received a mysterious letter in the mail. It was from the woman, who claimed to have survived the ritual and was seeking revenge. The friends were terrified, but they knew they couldn't ignore the threat. They had to face the woman once again and put an end to her reign of terror for good. They returned to the abandoned house, armed with the knowledge they had gained from their previous encounter. They searched the house, but the woman was nowhere to be found. Suddenly, they heard a noise coming from upstairs. They cautiously climbed the stairs, and found themselves in a dark room, filled with strange symbols and ominous energy. The woman emerged from the shadows, wielding dark magic and ready to unleash her wrath on the friends. They fought back with all their strength, but they were no match for her dark powers. Just as they thought all hope was lost, they remembered the ritual. They began to chant the ancient incantation, summoning the power to banish the woman once and for all. The ritual was intense, and the friends struggled to maintain their concentration as the woman attacked them relentlessly. But they knew they couldn't give up, and they poured all their energy into the ritual. Finally, the woman was consumed by the ritual's power, disappearing into thin air. The friends collapsed to the ground, exhausted but relieved that their nightmare was finally over. As they left the abandoned house, they knew that they had been forever changed by their experience. They had faced their fears and emerged victorious, but they also knew that they could never forget the horrors they had witnessed. The friends went their separate ways, but they would always remain bonded by their shared experience. They knew that they had faced something truly terrifying, and they had emerged stronger because of it. The end.